What's up, everybody? Welcome to this beat making tutorial. The first step that we are going to do is cook up some drums. I'm using Battery 4 from Native Instruments. All right, so now that we got them drums, we're gonna do some melody. I like using arps for my melody, so I will find an instrument that I think is interesting, and then we're gonna build an arp with that instrument. All right, so now that we found a sound that we like with melted vibes, I'm going to be playing an arp. I'm going to be playing a C minor 7 and a G sharp major 7 chord, but we're going to be playing them arpeggiated. All right, so now that we have that main melody arp laid down, I'm going to use a similar sound from Cloud Supply and double up on that melody. Now we're going to add in a bass line using Massive X. We're going to add in a sub bass. Now we're going to add in this soft synth lead from Lo-Fi Glow in order to give us some differentiation between our hook and our verse. Add in some acoustic elements. So I found this acoustic guitar from Native Instruments. We're gonna play the guitar like this. We got the basic structure of the track now, and the next thing that we're going to do is do some sequencing, move some things around, add in a few more percussion elements, and then we're going to move into creating the bridge. And to create the bridge, we're going to first start by laying down some strings. For the bridge, we slowed things down by using these legato strings instead of the rapidly played arpeggiation that we did with the earlier sounds. Now let's lay down a sub bass to go along with our strings. To continue with building out this bridge, we're going to bring in some of the other elements, including that guitar, and we're going to play that guitar in the arp style that we did previously. that's gonna do it for our bridge. Now let's move over to mixing the track. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna set loop points around this hook because this is where a majority of the instruments are going to be in the track. For a secondary portion of the mix, we'll move over to the bridge because that way it has some of the other instruments that are not featured in the hook. So one thing that I'm gonna be doing this time is I'm gonna be listening to a reference track as I am mixing this track just to make sure that things are sounding how I want them to sound. So I have a comparable track that I'm listening to on YouTube, and though you won't hear it, I'm listening to it and I'm going to make adjustments based off of that reference track. All right, so everything is named inside of our mixer, and of course we're going to start with our kick. What's a little different this time is we have two kicks. I layered a kick because I wanted the kick to be a little more punchier, so that's what this second kick is going to be doing. But we're going to be mixing these two kicks together, and we pretty much want to start at 0 and then we'll build our way up. So we're going to set our kick to 10 dB, and then we're going to mix around the other sounds around that kick. So here's that second kick with the layer. Here's our original kick. And if we're looking right here on our master, we're seeing we're getting about 10. And we'll start adding in the other instruments. Here's our snare. But if that's where our kick is at, this is where our snare is hidden. I think that sounds good. And only thing I want to do is add a high pass filter to kind of take off some of that low end. And then I think we can boost up some of the highs, make it a little cleaner. So that way it's a little cleaner. So we just did some of these adjustments here to the EQ. All right, let's go to the shakes. And pan. Okay, this percussion is here. Here's this percussion, some tambourine. So we have this drum set here. So drum set has some low frequencies, so we're gonna take out some of those. When we go to this kit, we need to take a look at these toms, turn down some of the decay on these toms. If they're just bleeding into each other a little bit more than I would like. Yeah, make it a little drier. Cool, so there's our drum fill. Duplicate this. And I'm gonna find that crash, and I want the crash to be by itself. So on this first one, we'll go ahead and get rid of the crash, and then on the second one, we'll go ahead and get rid of everything else. So this is just for the crash, just kind of better control this crash. There's a lot going on with this crash, so I'll put a little compressor on it. Gonna make the compressor long. I'm also gonna put on the drum bus track, I'm gonna put this 2-band compressor. And then we're gonna adjust so our kick is still hitting around 10. All right, let's go to this melody ARP here. We'll pull this guy out. So we see it's already cutting off some of those low frequencies. a soft synth lead. By activating both the low pass and the high pass, we'll create like a band pass and just kind of focus in on where that synth is. Okay, for the hook, let's add in the sub bass. All right, so what you'll notice is it's already doing some ducking. So we already have this side chain right here. It's already set up, and this goes to our kick drum. So there's a parallel out of our kick drum that's going into our bass dynamics sidechain input. What that will allow us to do is to use this kick drum as a key for the sidechain of this compressor, which is on our sub bass. So if we turn it off, then it doesn't do any ducking, but when we turn it on, there is some gain reduction that's happening on that sub bass every time that the kick hits, and that's what we want for this track. You can really hear it now. You can even see it in the meters. So let's come in here and let's turn up our strings. There's our guitar. For our master section, we're going to be using our multi-band compressor. So I'm gonna come over here to our search, type in multi-band, and we will see our multi-band compressor. Here is our multi-band compressor, and we'll just click and drag this over to our master section. And just right there, just by adding this multi-band compressor, we have some access to some different things. So one thing that I do want to do is to turn on this. This kind of gives us a little bit more presence, but also a little bit more of the high gain. We also want to turn up some of this high shelf as well, and that's going to just give us some more clarity in the track. Usually in the mid section, there's some frequencies that I want to remove. So for the overall gain, we want to get this to 0. So we're going to increase this master gain until we really get to that 0. Before the master section, we're about -8. And then once we press the bypass,